This is the Autodesk Civil 3D site. For those of you that are familiar with AutoCAD, it's very similar. And you may notice that when we start, in this case, because we're looking at my machine, it's showing the last few drawings that I worked with. If we click on the large C in the upper left-hand corner, our application menu, we have the option to open. So the first time you're opening your file, you're going to click to open a drawing. We're going to start with the drawing file, and it's the same file format that you would work with in Autodesk. However, it's a very different scenario. There's much more information involved. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to browse to and select my file. If you've downloaded the exercise files from the course canvas, you'll look for the exercise files folder once you've unzipped it, and you'll go into the references folder, to the DWG folder, and for the very first assignment we're going to go into use the introduction drawing. But the first time you're working with Autodesk, you'll want to add this folder to your list of places to look, and that way it will be more efficient when you open a file. To do that, in the Select File dialog, if I click the down arrow just to the right of Tools, I can add this folder to my places. So when I'm looking, I can click right into Drawings. It's right at the top of my list of options for finding files. And so once I've done that, I'll click Open, and I'm opening a drawing file. For those of you who have enjoyed solid modeling and working with mechanical parts, this will be different. Don't be intimidated by the complexity of this drawing. This is a drawing of a subdivision with roads, pipe networks, and contour lines. There is no expectation that you'll create this until maybe the end of the semester. The contour lines, the red weaving lines and the green lines, represent different elevations of this terrain, and that data would have been collected by a survey crew who went out and did measuring. The math to connect the dots and link elevations of the same height would have been done by the software. I'm going to just zoom in very quickly so you can see what I mean by this. So this is a fairly complex drawing. This is not the sort of project you might knock off in a day. This is the sort of project where your work would be done. You'd be part of a team. There'd be a survey crew involved. And what you can see here is the Jeffries Ranch Road. There are a series of lots, and you can see there's lot 1, 2, 3, 4 going vertically, and then it looks like we have 2 through 6 running horizontally along Jeffries Road, and then we have another road, Ascent Place. The curved salmon colored and green lines, those are connecting points of the same elevation. And those are contour lines. They're used in topographical mapping, and it makes for a very busy drawing. Typically, when you print out a civil drawing, you're not looking at all of this information in the same place. So for this to be really useful to someone that's looking, say, at property lines or marketing the property, those contour lines would be turned off. If we look at the text just below the Jeffries Ranch Road label, you'll see elevations. Those are elevations in units of feet with 2 decimal places, and they represent the elevation above sea level. You'll find in the course canvas I have a link to a website that provides some information on topographical mapping. And that's something we'll get into later in the semester. For now, we're going to work on this drawing, and we're going to make some minor changes. It would be the type of work you might do if you went to work for a civil firm and you were an entry-level CAD technician. So if we look at Jeffries Ranch Road, we can see elevation changes. You'll notice every 5th contour line is green. That's just a standard. In time you'll learn that. We'll get into topographic mapping much later in the semester. For now, we're looking at this from the sake of looking at all that the drawing contains. So when I look at this drawing, I can see a variety of layers. There's information regarding plots, there's information regarding points, and the drawing is much more than the series of points and lines that we would see in a standard AutoCAD two-dimensional drawing. We have objects, we have survey data, we have pipe networks. It's all linked together. I want to show you just some features of the workspace. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see the little gear. That's the workspace icon, and if I click on the little down arrow just to the right of it, you'll see I can very quickly switch from the Civil 3D work environment to the drafting and annotation environment. So if you ever want to work in AutoCAD 2D, you can get there simply by clicking this option. It's also available in the lower right-hand corner of my workspace. If you look for the gear and you click on that, you'll have those same options to switch. At the Workspace tab on the Home, you'll see Toolspace. When I click Toolspace, that toggles on a series of tabs in a column at the left. And that gives me information about all of the objects that are contained within the drawing. You'll see I have points, I have alignments, I have sites, pipe networks, bridges, corridors. Obviously, not all drawings contain all of those objects, but they're there. In this particular drawing, I have alignments. If I click the little plus at the left of alignments, you'll see I have a series of centerline alignments. If I click at Jeffrey's, well, here, let's click centerline alignments. When I select it at the level centerline alignments, that's the category that contains, in this example, 3 separate roads. I can come down, a little window opens up in the lower left-hand corner, and I can select, say, Jeffrey's Ranch Road. I can right-click to select it, and it'll select the center line that runs right down Jeffrey's Ranch Road, and I can see where it begins and where it ends. Along the way, I'll see these references, 4 + 0, 0, 5 + 0, 0. Those are station point references. From time to time, if you're driving and you're in traffic and you see a survey crew, you'll see the markings on the pavement where they've established their station points. And those station points correspond to information about elevations. So Jeffrey's Ranch Road, if we look at we're going to change from the view. We're going to go to right now we're in the top view. We're going to click on the top, the little label in the upper left-hand corner. In this project, we have custom model views. I'm going to click on the option to expand my custom model views, and I'm going to choose the alignment profile view. When I do that, I get information in a grid at the right, which shows me the elevation of the centerline alignment for Jeffrey's Ranch Road. And again, those values we'll see in the vertical axes here range from, it looks like, well, the grid goes from 188 to 228, but if we look at the low point here, it's actually more like 190. But this shows me how the elevation in Jeffrey's Ranch Road varies over the length of it. So it's got some serious, well, not serious hills, but some good fair-sized hills. And it shows me what the station points are and what the elevation is at each of this point. This is not something the CAD technician would enter unless they were asked to volunteer to help the survey crew. The survey crew collects all this information. It gets uploaded into the project, and the information is associated with the station points. So it's not like you're doing any advanced math. The software does that. So this is the Jeffrey's Ranch Road profile, and we can see that at the end of the road ends just a little bit before the 18 station point, and at that point it's just about at an elevation of, it looks like, 220 feet. So let's go back and let's select the Jeffrey's Ranch Road elevation, and we're going to grab a grip, And I'm going to click, and I'm going to extend it beyond that station point just to make a point. And this is something that would be done in task 2. And then when I go back and I look at my profile information, you may recall just a little bit ago I made the point that the elevation at the end of the road was about 220, and it ended just a little bit to the west of the station point 18, and now it's extended beyond that, and it is at an elevation of just about 209 feet above sea level. So very quickly we made a change in our road alignment. Actually, I'll do Control Z to undo that. And so any changes that you make in one view will automatically be updated with the other view. They are tied together. The elevations and the road location along the map, they're tied together. If you modify one view, the other view will automatically be updated. And as we get into this, we'll explore all of our tabs. Our Prospector tab is the tab where we'll find the information regarding the objects within the drawing. And so there will be survey data, there'll be alignment data, there'll be pipe networks, and of course it'll take us the whole semester to learn how to collect this information and manage it. But this was intended to be an introduction to give you enough information to get started, get into chapter 1, and work through the 3 tasks that we have.